She walked away from the only life she ever knew. She left a big mansion, lots of money, fancy cars, and people who worked for her every day. But she didn't leave because she wanted freedom. She left because something bad was hiding in that house. That night, she didn't take a suitcase. She didn't tell anyone goodbye. She just walked into the rain with one small bag, and a secret so big that powerful people would do anything to keep it quiet. If the truth comes out, someone important is going to fall. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps the story continue. The rain was cold and steady as Maya stepped out of the tall front doors of the mansion. She didn't run. She moved quietly, each step careful on the wet stone floor. Her long black hair stuck to her face, and her small brown bag pressed against her chest. Her clothes were simple now, plain jeans and a dark hoodie, but anyone who knew her before wouldn't recognize her like this. The mansion behind her had more than 20 rooms, high glass windows, giant white pillars, and guards who never slept. She had lived there her whole life, but that night, she didn't feel like it was her home. She felt like it wanted to trap her. As she crossed the yard, tall lights reflected off black cars and shiny jeeps. The rainwater made the ground look like a mirror, showing the cars, the gates, and the sky. She passed a white limousine, the same one that once took her to parties with fancy dresses and fake smiles. She didn't smile now. She touched the gate. It was tall, iron, and usually guarded. But tonight, the two men at the post were busy arguing about something on the phone. She walked past them, head low. No one stopped her. Halfway down the road, she turned to look at one window on the second floor. The study room. That was where she had heard them talking. Her father. Two men. Papers. Money. Threats. One man had said, if this leaks, everything collapses. Make sure she never finds out. But she did find out. And now she was gone. They still thought she was asleep in her room. They had no idea the secret was already walking away. She didn't know where she was going, but she knew where she could never go again. Her feet were wet. Her heart was heavy. But she kept walking. By the time Maya reached the city streets, cars were rushing fast, and puddles splashed against the sidewalks. Tall buildings blocked the sky. Lights from shops and buses reflected in the wet roads. She kept her head down and wrapped her hoodie around her tighter. She had never walked alone without guards or a driver. She didn't even know the price of bus tickets. She only had a little money inside her small bag, along with one folded paper she was afraid to even open. She didn't eat dinner before leaving. Her stomach was empty, and her hands were cold. But she didn't stop until she saw a small bakery with warm yellow light glowing through the foggy window. She opened the door slowly. Warm bread smell filled the air. Shelves were half empty because it was late. A woman behind the counter looked at Maya closely. She was in her 40s, with gentle eyes and curly hair tied back with a scarf. "You look tired," the woman said softly. Maya didn't answer. "Have you eaten today?" the woman asked. Maya shook her head. Without asking for money, the woman handed her a small piece of bread. "Sit by the window. You can rest." Maya sat down. The chair was wooden and cold, but the room was warm. She held the bread but didn't eat right away. She looked at the door, afraid someone might walk in and call her name. Memories came back quickly, like rain hitting her skin again. A raised voice. A slammed fist on the table. Papers with names and numbers. A plan. A lie. A danger. And her father's voice. If she finds out, she becomes a problem. Was she the problem now? Yes. And they would look for her. They wouldn't wait till morning. And someone had already noticed her empty bed. The bakery owner came back with a cup of warm tea. "I'm Lena," she said. "What's your name?" Maya hesitated. "Maya," she whispered. "That's a pretty name," Lena said with a soft smile. "You can stay here until the rain stops." Maya nodded. She didn't know where else to go. Outside, on the other side of the street, a black car slowed down. Someone inside stared at the bakery window for a moment, then the car drove off. Maya didn't see it. But the driver saw her. Lena began closing the bakery as night got later. She stacked bread trays, wiped the counters, and locked the front door. Maya sat quietly, watching the lights loudly crying face outside grow dim. When the last customer left, Lena walked over. "Do you have anywhere to sleep tonight?" she asked gently. Maya lowered her eyes and shook her head. "There's a small room upstairs," Lena said. "It's old but safe. You can stay for the night." Maya followed her up a narrow staircase. The hallway was dark, and the walls were pale yellow. The room was small, with a single bed, one blanket, and a small window that showed the rainy street below. Maya sat on the bed and took a deep breath. For the first time, she felt a little safe. But safety never stays long when people with power are involved. Downstairs, Lena turned off the lights. The bakery was quiet. Then, 3 hard knocks on the front door. Lena froze. A man's voice called from outside, "Good evening. We are looking for someone." Maya heard the voice from upstairs. Her heart jumped. Lena didn't open the door. "We're closed," she said. The man outside replied, "We just want to ask a few questions." "A girl left home tonight. Brown bag. Long black hair. Have you seen her?" Lena was silent. After a long moment, she said, "I haven't seen anyone like that." The men waited. Then one said quietly, "If you do see her, you must tell us. For her own safety." Their footsteps faded. But only for now. Maya stood in the corner of the small room, holding her bag. Inside it was only one thing, a folded paper with proof of what they had done. Names. Numbers. Signatures. Lies. She had read it only once. It was enough to change everything. If they found her, the truth would die before the sun came up. Maya looked out the window at the wet street and whispered to herself, "I'm not going back. They can't hide this forever." But across the city, the phones were already ringing. The search had started. And someone very powerful had just said one sentence. "Find her before she talks." White heavy checkmark moral lesson. Sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is walk away from comfort to protect the truth. Money can hide secrets, but courage can break them open. If you want part 2 of Maya's story, where the search gets closer, the people hunting her become desperate, and the secret begins to unfold, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe right now. Your support decides if the next part content